bit of an eerie evening for us.
Yeah.
We've been tracking some showers and thunderstorms. Haven't really reached into the city
No.
so far this evening, but we do have the potential of some additional development as we get through tonight. Welcome to the Forecasters.
Yes, we made it. It's Friday.
I'm Melissa Donovan. This is Bill Snyder. We are tracking some thunderstorms this evening. The good news is behind this system, we have some quieter weather for the weekend.
Beautiful weather. I mean, get outside and enjoy it.
Yeah, it's going to be good.
Yeah, it is. But before that.
Here's what we're keeping an eye on right now. We've had a few severe thunderstorm warnings this evening for our area.
Yep.
Right now, we are severe thunderstorm warning free across northeast Illinois and northwest Indiana. But we're keeping an eye on that little cell that's just outside of our area in Bureau and Putnam County, where there is a tornado warning that was issued. If that crosses into LaSalle County, we may have to take a beat from the forecasters and jump on air for a tornado warning. At this point, there's no indication of that from our National Weather Service chat, which we're keeping an eye on.
Right.
Currently, that has a tornado warning in a small area of rotation, and we're monitoring it very closely. But it's going to take some time before it enters LaSalle County, and if it holds together in intensity, we could see a tornado warning issued for LaSalle as well. So we're keeping an eye on things.
One report.
We do have a tornado report out of Lee County, so right on the border of LaSalle. That was earlier this evening.
It literally lasted for maybe just a few seconds, and then it went right back up into the clouds.
Yeah,
so pretty interesting.
Very brief, very weak. And if we get any tornado warnings tonight, that's pretty much what they would be for, a very brief and weak tornado.
This is not, let's be clear with our listeners, this is not a repeat of what we had 10 days ago, thankfully. So we're looking at a different setup, but it's still severe weather, and we're monitoring it.
Really what we've seen mostly is just a little bit of hail, up to about an inch in a few locations, and then several funnel clouds well to the north of us through the Madison area. And that's really where our thunderstorms have been feeding from this evening. Along that line, that next line that's pushing in to northwest Illinois right now, those are continuing to weaken a little bit too. But if that line stays organized, we could see some stronger activity, sort of seeing some pulsing with these storms tonight.
Yes, definitely. We've got some moderately humid air into the area, compared to yesterday. And so we're talking about, not dew points that we've seen in some of our previous storm outbreaks where they were in the 70s, but we're talking mid to upper 60s, and that's certainly enough moisture. We have moderate wind shear in the atmosphere, which is another one of the components that we need to get severe weather. So, we'll definitely be keeping an eye on it. And we have, again, there it is, a severe thunderstorm watch for virtually the entire area except for our eastern viewing area of northwest Indiana until 10 p.m.
Yeah, so we'll be continuing to track things through this evening. Temperatures right now, we're into the 70s. So like Bill said, it's not extremely warm to fuel that thunderstorm activity.
Right.
Dew points. Mid to upper 60s.
Yeah, I mean, we've certainly seen a lot worse in August and have seen a lot worse this summer. So hopefully that plays a role in helping our minimize what the amount of severe weather we see this evening.
Yeah, exactly. So tonight we have those showers and thunderstorms, mid 60s, still a little muggy tonight.
Right.
Tomorrow, isolated shower, maybe thunderstorm in the afternoon. Otherwise,
really small chance,
a lot of us are going to see a really nice Saturday.
Yep.
Sunday looking really good.
Gorgeous.
Sunshine, low humidity, upper 70s. So
we'll take it. We deserve
overall, big bonus weekend compared to some of them that we've seen. And we really did need a break from the active weather for a weekend.
Yeah, we did. And you know what? Get this, Alyssa. It happened again.
What happened again?
This morning.
Oh.
So out in DuPage County, which is where I live, and the one that happened earlier in the, wait, I'm sorry. Before we go to that, we can go to that? Okay, sorry. But, we had one that tornado alarm siren that went off at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yes.
I slept through it, but a lot of people didn't, and they heard it. It happened again this morning.
Oh, my gosh.
So, believe it or not, I was outside cutting my grass, and I'm the sound of the lawnmower is kind of dwarfing what's going on, and I'm like, is that a siren that I'm hearing? And so finally, I decided to turn the lawnmower off, and I'm like, oh my goodness, it certainly is.
Yeah.
Yet again, the tornado siren was activated inadvertently, and so quickly I looked up at the sky and I knew there wasn't anything threatening, but it still made me run into my house and pull up my phone and just check the radar and see, hey, is there any kind of warning? And there wasn't. But yeah, this was the second time this week a tornado siren was accidentally went off in DuPage County. So basically all the communities across DuPage County heard it. There was no severe weather, of course, and officials said it was not part of a planned test. The department apologized for the confusion and is investigating what may have been behind it. So again, second time this week that it's happened. So not exactly good. On a day where we were talking about storms, I'm sure most people are a little bit on edge, storm fatigue, kind of like we are as forecasters, considering how many storms we've seen this summer.
And you know what? We actually have a trivia question about that tonight. BJ, let's talk about it. Let's get BJ Cam going.
Yeah, BJ, happy Friday.
Our guy.
Happy Friday.
Yes,
hey,
we made it. We made it.
So what was this year's record so far for tornadoes?
Well, it might be now. It was 205, and we may have added a couple to it.
It's officially 205,
right.
But we potentially just had another tornado tonight.
Yeah.
So we always like to check with the National Weather Service before we update those numbers. So we're going to go with 205.
And they'll officially, put their stamp on it that it was an actual tornado.
Hopefully
which is our record.
Hopefully nothing severe. But it does tie in today's trivia question. Yes, we're playing trivia again today. This is not a gut check trivia.
Yeah.
You are on the honor system. No online searches, please. So your question today, prior to this year, what was Illinois' record for tornadoes? You see 4 options there. You also see a code on the right side of your screen. You can scan that. That code will take you to WGNTV.com/theforecasters, where you can make your choice. We will reveal the answer later in the show.
Ooh, and you know what? I love when I know the answer. It's
fun.
I don't think I do know this one.
You don't know? Okay.
So, I'm going to take a stab at it.
All right, good.
You will take a stab at it. It's a good one.
Yeah, and you know what? We have more warnings stories tonight as well. In suburban Plainfield,
how about that?
Storms knocked out 2 of its outdoor warning sirens, and repairs are underway now, so that's good news. The village wants to make sure everyone has the emergency and weather alerts notifications on their phones just in case. I think a lot of people automatically have these now. I know when we had tornado warnings last Tuesday, I was actually on air and my phone started going off when Cook County got into the warning.
Right. Yes.
Took me a while to turn it off. So, and they're so loud.
Yeah.
So hopefully people have those set up on their phones while that repair is underway.
That's good news. Yeah. That is good news for sure. But and here's another thing: 22 counties in Indiana have now issued emergency declarations after last Tuesday's storms. The latest is Warren County along the Illinois state line. 20,000 people have applied for state disaster relief, and more than 200 people are staying in shelters.
Wow.
Oh, man. Wow is right.
That's horrible.
Yeah.
And the utility company in Indiana is now facing a class action lawsuit.
Wow.
NIPSCO is accused of not adequately managing the trees and branches before recent storms. The suit alleges the company did not keep vegetation a safe distance from distribution and transmission lines. The lawsuit also claims linemen and specialists did not perform required assessments.
It's predictable in the sense that we know that most outages are caused by downed vegetation. So someone has to take and make a point and make a change, and that's what we decided to do here.
Now, in response to the lawsuit, NIPSCO says the Indiana Utility Regulator Commission oversees the vegetation management. Utility officials add that they disagree with the characterization alleged in the suit, and they will defend the company through the legal process. They say the immediate focus remains on restoring service to affected customers as safely and as quickly as possible.
That is good news, yes. And boy, hearts go out to our friends in Indiana. Adding insult to injury, this morning some residents in Munster woke up to a water main break. This was along the Fran Lynn Parkway. Munster sent public works crews to make repairs and warned of an interruption in service. This is an area that is now in its 11th day without electricity.
I called my husband this morning and I started crying. I said, we have no water. I've been okay without the power, but without the water, that's hard. That's hard. I need it to cook. I need it, to flush the toilets. I need it,
That resident told us her husband works for ComEd. She and other neighbors are frustrated they haven't seen any NIPSCO trucks in their area in all the days of the outage.
Wow.
Oh, not good.
That would be so frustrating.
Yep.
Well, closer to home here in Chicago, a man from the south side became the 13th person to die from heat-related causes in Cook County. The 69-year-old from Chatham died last month, according to the Sun-Times. Its analysis found Cook County has had more heat-related deaths this year than in any other year of the last decade.
That's surprising, isn't it?
Yes, 10 of the 13 people who died are Chicagoans. Most of them are senior citizens.
Oh, that's you hate to see that. Hey, if you're hoping summer sticks around a little longer into fall, a new forecast says there's about a 50-50 chance. Data from NOAA's Climate Prediction Center released yesterday shows all but a few states leaning toward hotter than normal temperatures between September and November. But those states in white on the map, which includes Illinois, have an equal chance of seeing a warm fall, a cool fall, and an average fall. As for precipitation, again, equal chances for above, below, and average rainfall amounts. I think that kind of continues the trend of what we've seen this summer, Alyssa.
Super El Niño.
Our summer average temperature is running about a half a degree above normal. So for all intents and purposes, kind of a statistical wash.
Yeah. So strong thunderstorms rolled through the East Coast yesterday. This battered the region with torrential rain and powerful winds. The rain came down so hard in New York City that the water gushed out of drains. Multiple funnel clouds were spotted with reports from Pennsylvania, Delaware, and New Jersey. On Long Island, a water spout came ashore, becoming a tornado, and caused widespread damage to a beach club. Look at that video.
That is amazing, isn't it?
Wow.
I mean, you don't normally see those. They usually stay offshore. They don't make it on towards the shoreline. So, wow, that is something. Hey, let's go to the Pacific Ocean here. 2 fishermen who were stranded at sea in the Pacific Ocean clinging to a cooler have now been rescued. The Mexican Navy released this video after they found the 2 men about 130 miles off the coast. The 2 fishermen had been missing since August 14th and had survived by clinging to a cooler in the ocean waters. They were airlifted to port where they were checked out. They have now been reunited with their families.
That's amazing.
Isn't it?
Yeah, that's something.
Wow.
Well, more earthquakes as well. A magnitude 6.7 earthquake shook Peru's southern Andes Mountains. Officials say 2 people were hurt and a couple dozen buildings were damaged, including homes, health centers, and schools. The quake triggered mudslides and a massive icefall from Mount Humanite in the country's Cusco region. You can see the snow and ice rising from the mountain following the quake. Earthquakes are frequent in Peru. The country is part of the Pacific Ring of Fire, an area of frequent seismic activity.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know, drought conditions out west have Colorado ranchers looking for every possible way to save water. They're even shading it from the sun. Here's Jessica Livingstone with our station in Colorado Springs with more. Check this out.
We ended up selling and shipping cattle 6 weeks earlier than planned because we wanted to conserve what little grass we grew this year and make sure that we've got ground cover for the winter.
Extreme drought across Colorado is forcing ranchers to make some tough decisions.
Because we didn't get a snow season this year, there was so little snow in the mountains, we only brought 43% of our herd. So we brought less than half of the animals we had planned to run this summer.
But Red Wing Ranch in Gardner found a pretty ballsy way to fight evaporation. It may look like a giant ball pit, but it's a water-saving tool for this ranch. These shade balls keep the sun out and slow down evaporation.
A really big factor is the wind. If the wind blows across the surface of the water, it shears the water molecules from the liquid into the vapor phase.
When we think about repairs and a hole in the side of your tank, you would fix that. And then if you reframe that to a hole on the top of the tank that is just actively leaking water out into the environment, why wouldn't we address that?
You can see a visible difference between the farm's covered and uncovered watering holes. And when you're talking about livestock, every gallon counts.
These mamas can drink 30 gallons of water a day. And often, not this year because of the drought, but often we'll be running 300 animals in a herd. and they can drink down 7,000 gallons. No problem.
Vaporlock installed these shade balls last fall and expect them to last around 25 years.
We are fortunate in the sense that we have a lot of wind, and so it keeps the balls moving. Most people would say we're not fortunate for the wind, but it does keep the balls moving, and so it keeps things from freezing.
About 15 years ago, they put 96 million shade balls into reservoirs outside of Los Angeles. The main purpose of that was to control algae. Without sun getting into the water, algae dies.
You know, as we deal with this changing climate, it's always interesting to see these people who are coming up with these fascinating and interesting solutions. But I do want to take a moment to remind everyone of our trivia question today. Prior to this year, what was Illinois' record for tornadoes? You see your 4 options there on the screen. Go to WGNTV.com/theforecasters and make your choice. We'll reveal the answer later in the show. After a break, researchers have had success creating a new test for phosphorus in water. We'll tell you about that next.
Researchers are looking into ways to test for phosphorus in water easier and more accessible. If it's been a long time since chemistry class, phosphorus is a mineral essential for living things, but too many of the mineral can have negative health impacts, including kidney disease. Reporter Cassie Fambro with our station in Greensboro, North Carolina, shares and explains the test and the success that the researchers have had. Check this out.
Based on the color chart that I would give them, they know what kind of phosphate they have.
UNCG doctoral candidate Abed Al-Qadir Ibrahim set out to create a simple visual test to identify phosphorus in water.
Can you see it? Can you see the color? It's pinkish.
Using a combination of chemistry and nanoscience, he's helped to develop a sensor.
I'm a chemist in my background. And during my undergrad, when I was doing the chemistry, I came across nanomaterial.
Nanomaterial is teeny tiny stuff, smaller than you can even imagine.
It's literally just scaling things down and turning things into smaller scale.
Phosphorus is often sprayed in the form of fertilizer or pesticides, and too much of it is harmful to water and in turn harmful to people.
Some of these materials, like the organophosphorus pesticides, they're super toxic and at very low concentrations.
Dr. Shirin Obar is UNCG's Vice Chancellor for Research and Engagement and Ibrahim's mentor.
This particular project was dealing with agriculture and understanding what are some of the challenges that agricultural farmers are working on.
Traditional phosphorus water testing methods mean transporting samples, intensive lab work, and technicians. A take-home paper-based sensor eliminates those steps.
What's really novel about this particular technology is that you can actually take this to the farm right away and utilize it. You don't have to be a scientist to be able to use this technology. All you need is your eyes.
The prototype is going through the patent process, but the researchers were able to share how it works.
Starting from the material itself. The material, I developed gold-based nano sensor.
Not quite gold like your watch. Imagine 1/100,000th of a human hair.
When you take the gold that we know to the nanoscale, it turns into a different color. So it becomes red wine color solution.
The paper-based test kit has gold nanomaterial on its coating, and when water from a stream, river, lake, or pond is tested with it.
Based on this color, you will be able to tell what kind of phosphate you have in your sample.
The lab research could revolutionize the way farmers in particular test their waterways, but that's not all.
The defense community is very interested in phosphorus because it can be used for so many different applications, including alternative energy.
Opening up more research opportunities into phosphorus sustainability. In Greensboro, North Carolina, I'm Cassie Fambro.
It's that time of the show.
Oh, it's his favorite.
It's my favorite time of the show. And you know what? It's become a favorite of our viewers too. And they've gotten really good at it. And when we show you this leaderboard in just a second, how good are our viewers? I mean, we had a tie for second place and they missed it by 1 degree.
Wow.
You know, we like to bet on weather and so do they. So this week we asked you for your prediction for the temperature in Mexico, Missouri at 10 a.m. this morning. And BJ, let's roll the music. Dave Tidman, another one of our past winners who is really good, a huge weather enthusiast, and he knows his stuff. Dave accurately predicted Mexico, Missouri's temperature on the dot, 76 degrees at 10 o'clock.
Very
and look
good
at this.
job, Dave.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people after Dave all had 75 or 77, so they were off by 1
You guys
degree.
were so close.
Yes, so hats off to our viewers. Dave, you get to choose our location for next week, so think about it over the weekend and let us know, and we'll
pick something good.
We'll make that announcement on Monday. I know she says something good.
Pick something good. I will not be here for part of the next week.
I know, but she wants to know.
I want it to be, can I give some suggestions?
Oh, there we go.
I would like something that is really out of left field. I mean, I feel like Mexico, Missouri was really out of left field.
Yeah.
But get crazier. Get
Sure.
crazier.
Yeah.
Like
anywhere.
Take us wherever.
Go anywhere. You know what? And Dave's pretty creative. I think Dave's going to come up with a good one.
All right, Dave.
Yep. So
counting
hats off
on
to
you.
that. Yes. How about some photos? Should we look at some
let's
pictures?
check them out.
Yeah.
Ooh, this
Isn't
is
this
Johnny
pretty?
O. This was Wednesday night's grand finale fireworks show from Navy Pier.
How cool is that?
You know how often I go and see those on Wednesday nights? Pretty often.
Do you?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's
You
cool.
were going to say 0 times. I actually go pretty often.
You know what? I've been wanting to go, but I'm always here.
It's only
so.
like 15 minutes or something.
Yeah, but it'd still be cool. And they
it's
do it, I
great.
think, on Saturdays
Yes,
too, don't they? But
Wednesdays and
what a cool
Saturdays.
shot. And that's winding
It's a great
down
shot.
because I believe that ends at the end of the month. That stops. So I know. It's
A
another
sign of the
sign of the times, right? How about photographer extraordinaire Judith Salstone?
Wow.
And she called the sunset that she saw last night epic. And you know when Judith says it's epic, it's epic.
That
And it
looks
really
crazy.
is. It's shot from the sky deck Chicago. Look at the fiery red colors there. So pretty.
That looks wild. All right,
Yeah.
this is from Larry Henderson of Cedar Lake. He reports this giant mushroom or fungus started growing after last Tuesday's storm. Look how big and weird.
Isn't that something?
It looks
That's
like a
enormous.
marshmallow
It
that
does.
you toasted on the fire.
Yeah, it really does.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow, Larry, great shot. And Darlene Osborne, she captured this ominous sky today. This was as storms earlier this afternoon were moving into the Fox Lake area, but she shares that stormy skyscape. You can kind of see the little vestige of a shelf cloud.
A little shelf cloud.
Shelf
going
cloud.
in.
So very cool.
Yeah.
Submit your photos to wgntv.com/theforecasters. We'd love to see your photography and feature them on our shows.
All right, we have a lot more coming up on the forecasters. We'll be right back. Welcome back. It's trivia time.
Yes,
It
we'll
is
see how
trivia
good
time.
our viewers are.
Yes. So
I'm
at the top
excited.
of the show, your trivia question today. Prior to this year, what was Illinois' record for tornadoes? Did we have 95, 122, 142, or 163?
How about
Bill?
that?
Bill, the answer is?
Answer is 142.
Oh,
So
I got it wrong.
yeah, 43% thought it was 122, but hey,
142 was in 2024.
yeah, just 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Isn't that interesting? And now here we are, over 200. You know, we'll see what the final tally is. Who knows?
That's a record we didn't really want to break.
No, it isn't. You're absolutely right, Alyssa.
So.
We become the second state in the lower 48 to have 200 or more tornadoes, Texas being the other. So
Don't
amazing.
like that.
No, we don't.
Don't like that at
No,
all.
what we do like is this weekend's forecast.
Yeah, it's looking good.
Yeah.
So we are tracking still a few thunderstorms tonight that are a little strong. There's
Yes.
one cell very close to LaSalle County. So if you're in LaSalle County, just be aware we're tracking a cell moving in there that has shown some rotation, some stronger winds. And then tomorrow, much nicer conditions after these storms move through tonight. We're sort of in the clear. We could see an isolated shower thunderstorm tomorrow
I'm
afternoon.
almost thinking it might even be less than 20%.
I know.
now from
I
what
was
I'm
thinking
seeing.
more of like a shower tops.
Yes, so that's good news.
And most of us are going to be dry tomorrow, upper 70s, more sunshine Sunday, and low humidity.
Goodbye.
Stay nice through
Say
Monday.
Goodbye. Yes. Hey, thank you for joining us. Have a great weekend. We made it through another week. Sports Office is next. We'll see you again on Monday. Bye-bye.